is Tim Roberry, and I am the co-founder of TML Studios. What I do each day varies each day. Some days I am client interfacing, some days I am pitching cartoons, other days I'm managing projects, and projects vary from visual effects to animation to directing from another perspective. So yeah, that's kind of what I do here. Customer service. I think working in the trenches in IT has helped me be much, much better at managing projects than if I'd just gone into it, because dealing with people on a personal level is one of the most important things that you can do when you're managing something. Anything from projects to a group of people, of course, to anything. Well, there's a few things. Normally, when you start a project, you want to have a team in the very beginning that's actually interested in what you're doing. It's very hard to motivate somebody if you're just paying them to do what they're doing, because you get exactly what you pay for. And if you say, give me 10 hours of work, you'll get 10 hours of work, right? So getting somebody that's interested that you're doing fire-breathing dragons, you're going to get a really good fire-breathing dragon, because that guy played D&D for 10 years, and that's what he loves. So really, I like getting people that are interested in what we're doing to start out with. On top of that, we just have a fun environment, and we're very open, and we know how to focus when it's time to focus, but we also know when it's time to play, and we all play. The commonality between all of them is communication. If we're working in the same office, hygiene. Very much so, and that can become a problem. I would say the top one is communication and people's attitudes, because there's some people that are very good at what they do, but they're not personable and they don't work well with your team. So I'd say those are probably my top. In my approach to managing a project, I don't like to create a lot of waste in my project. And waste is anything that is non-essential to your project, and that is mostly managing your clients and their expectations, because a lot of clients will come in on a project and they will say, I want a story that's fantasy and there'll be an elf in it and I'll see you in 2 weeks. But there's a lot of waste in there because you don't know what kind of elf and you don't know what kind of fantasy and you don't know what colors they like or dislike, and your 2-week project can last 6 months because there wasn't that communication. So essential, again, communication is essential. I have calendars and I have a project management suite, a software suite that we hold online that all of our projects will go through. And so every day I wake up, I can check my calendar and see who's supposed to be working on what and go through and either email everyone or call them and make sure they're on board and go from there. We try to keep it pretty simple. Since we've been working in it for a while, we kind of know how many hours it takes to do different types of animations and 3D modeling and visual effects. And what we'll do is we'll sit down with a client and get a good idea of what they're trying to do. Some clients will come to us with storyboards and their own assets and just want them animated, which is very cool. Other clients come and say, I want to have a rabbit that jumps through the forest, and we say okay. And so we start with storyboarding there on the spot during our meeting and ask them what type of style they're looking for, and based on the complexity of the style we can have a good estimate of how many hours it will take, and then we apply our hourly to that. Oh, the most difficult client I worked with was a client that did not want to communicate until the last week of his project when it was due. And he communicated by being very angry that it was not where he wanted it to be. And of course that problem was fixed by saying, come into the studio and I'll talk to you face to face and we'll get everything down. And I find it, and again, this is something I learned being in the trenches in IT, is people are much less angry when they're looking at you in the face. And you're able to communicate much better when they see you as a person rather than when they see you as an objective or a hurdle they need to get over. There has been a situation where workplace politics had an effect on a project we're working on. And it was, again, a miscommunication between heads of different departments and who was going to be in charge of what project. and somebody took the lead when they should not have, and it caused our clients confusion on who was actually in charge, which caused decisions to be made to one party that the other party didn't know about. And so the project kind of forked out into 2 different areas until it was caught and had to be wrangled back into a single project. Again, the number one thing, project management, is communication. Without communication, every project you have will fall to pieces and it will be bad.